All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash, double honors, unto our apostles and elders of great millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you sincere Akim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Ash from the Great Millstone Miami Camp, coming back with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect. It's going to be a real quick lesson, okay, based upon this short that I just came across, okay, which was put up by Robert Greene, okay, and if you're not familiar with who Robert Greene is, he is the author of the book 48 Laws of Power, okay, which I'm pretty sure, you know, some of you brothers are familiar with that book. He's also the author of other books, some good books. One I read called 33 Strategies of War, right? And he has some other books, with good information, right? You brothers that's, may have heard of the 48 Laws of Power, myself included. In the world, you hear that 48 Laws of Power, and you hear the synopsis of it. It's a way that you can, basically tips and different laws and rules to follow to help manipulate people. Okay, which, you hear that and you think, oh, that's evil, that's a bad book. But when you really, read the book, when you come into this truth, first and foremost, you understand that, okay, life is about power. It's about leverage, okay? And power inherently is not evil or righteous. It's about what you do with the power. And we understand that we're in Esau's kingdom and he has the power, right? And when you read books like the 48 Laws of Power, you find out that a lot of the information in that book is scriptural. Okay, it's basically just giving you wisdom on how to deal in this life. Okay, how to deal with people. You understand the dark nature of people. You understand, and you find out that, all right, the average person is not, all right, like the scriptures say, the heart is deceitful and wicked. You find that out. You find out that this world is not peaches and cream. And anybody out there in this world that like to act like they're just a benevolent spirit is that's BS. Okay, people, the nature of man is dark, deceptive, and manipulative, and people will do you in whenever they get an opportunity. Okay, so you learn how to get the one up on people. You know how to, things to look out for. It's a very, good book, especially, you brothers out there like to read. Of course, you have the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah, so you eat the meat and you spit out the bones. Okay, but I'm gonna play this clip because it's spiritual. I'm gonna back it up with some scriptures, of course, and it's spiritual too, because we just wrapped up camp, and this is this is what we were going into towards the end. Okay, dealing with covetousness. So let me just play this, because this is good. Okay.
Seduction depends on the fact that people lack something in their life, and you are going to be the one supplying them. They're missing something. The word for love, eros, in the erotic comes from the god who shoots an arrow into someone and wounds them and poisons them. So falling in love and seducing is creating a wound in the other person. They need you. You're going to fill what they can't get on their own. So somebody who is completely happy in their life, who's got everything they want, is very hard to seduce. Now, if you're a great seducer, a top level seducer, you will always find something that people are missing. Nobody is completely happy. Even the very happiest person actually is probably covering up something. And so you'll be able to find that. The woman who reveals that she's unhappy, that she's got vulnerabilities, that she's been wounded before, and there's something missing in her life, that's like, I can ride right through that. I can be the one to supply. I can be the one to make her happy. They're much easier to seduce. Seduction.
Okay, so yeah, the title of that clip that was The Easiest People to Seduce. All right, and he spoke about how the easiest people to seduce are people who are lacking within their spirit. They feel like they are missing out. They feel like they are not fulfilled. They're not content with the things that they have. Okay, and he also mentioned that the hardest people to seduce are the people that are content, that basically have everything that they want. And being content or not is not based upon what you actually have. It's about being grateful or appreciative of the things that you already have. Okay, you can have somebody that has less material possessions, less worldly, possessions, less money and whatever, but they're more content with what they have, versus you may have somebody who is a multimillionaire and they're still not content with what they have, right? Because a perfect example of that is you look into a lot of these people in these third world countries that don't have half of the material things that people have in America, yet they live much happier lives. Okay. And he mentioned, he said, if someone is a high level seducer, they can find even people who think they have everything they want. A high level seducer can still, try to, can figure out what it is that person may be lacking and offer it to them, dangle it over their head to seduce them into getting them to do what they want to do. And we understand through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shemel Shah, through the scriptures, that the top seducer is the spiritual demon Satan. Okay? So what he said was on point and scriptural, and the scriptures, the Holy Bible, warned us of these things. Okay? This is the book of 1 Timothy, and start at 5, just to get the context. It says, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. All right. So just setting the tone, showing you that you have people in this world that suppose that gain is godliness. And the scriptures say that they have corrupt minds. If your mindset is geared towards that type of logic, type of reasoning, then you, according to the scriptures, have a corrupt mind. Okay? Just like Robert Greene basically said. Because if you are always in the mindset of getting more and more and more, that means your mind is corrupt. You're not at peace. You're not content with what you actually have. So you have people in this world that understand these things, which then Yahweh Shai said we ought to be as wise as serpents, yet harmless as doves. Which that guy Robert Greene, he's a Amalekite. He could be Jay, who knows, but his background is of the small hats. So you have plenty of people in this world that, especially Esau, Edom people in powerful positions that understand these different tactics and tricks. As the scriptures say, the wiles of the devil. And the elites know this. That's how they're going to get people to take the charagma, to accept the MOTB, to accept these different draconian measures that's getting ready to be issued out. right? Esau understands psychology, he understands how the mind works, and what makes people tick, right? You have something called FOMO, the fear of missing out, right? Or fear, that's covetousness, which covetousness is, wanting what other people have. That's what we were going into at the end of camp. The dangers of covetousness. And Robert Greene broke it down. He said when you're covetous, when you're full of covetousness, you're a sucker. You're a walking sucker. You're an easy mark, an easy lick, like Jake would say. Someone who is more content with what they have, they're not looking for anything. Somebody that's covetous, they're looking for something, so you can easily trick them. Right? And again, this is wisdom to be applied in your daily life. How much more in the times to come. Knowing what's getting ready to come. Right? So this is the mindset that we have to cultivate right now. Right? Verse 6, but godliness with contentment is great gain. You see that? So godliness with contentment is great gain. Having a mindset like that, that's a pure mindset. Okay, verse 7, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. That's a fact. So you can't even take your body with you. So that rule should be all that you need to show you that possessions is not the end all be all. You had them bugged out ass Egyptians burying their pharaohs with gold and books and different artifacts, and they really thought they was taking that with them. You had certain emperors or Moab that when they passed, they killed their whole damn king's guard to so that they can essentially go with them into the spiritual realm. That's bugged out. But that's having a corrupt mind. Okay? Verse 8. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. You see? So we all have that. So we should all be content, meaning we're whole. We're not walking around with a void, looking to fill a void. So that's an opening, that's a void for Satan to get in. Okay? Just like you could seduce a woman. Like he said, you're a woman with vulnerabilities and you've been hurt before. It's an easier woman to get. But a woman, like a woman who didn't have her father around, that was left out there. Yeah, she's easy to seduce. But a woman that had a strong father in her life, that disciplined her as well as rewarded her, and had her live up to a certain lifestyle to where she felt like she didn't really have to want for much. It's not really, that woman is a much harder woman to seduce. Because she's used to the finer things. She's used to, love and affection. So the same way for those of us that's in this truth, that are content with what we have, it's harder for the devil to trick us. It's harder for Satan to trick us. Okay? Verse 9. But they that will, and this is the key point, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare. Is that not what Robert Greene said? Seduction. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Let's read the NLT. It says, but people who long to be rich, meaning they have a void to be filled, they're not content with what they have. They think that becoming rich is going to fill that void and make them happy, which it might for, the first couple years, but eventually they're going to see that that's not what really satisfies them, because true satisfaction, true contentment comes from within. Okay, with your own self-image, with your own self-esteem, which our self-esteem and self-image is backed by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Our identity is associated with the Holy Scriptures. So we actually have the highest self-esteem and highest, self-value. We don't overvalue ourselves. We don't, make ourselves more than what we are. But the scriptures say to honor thy soul, glorify thy soul in meekness, and give it honor according to the dignity thereof. So we should be more content with ourselves than multi-millionaire billionaires in this world. Knowing who we are, knowing who our Father is, knowing what we're a part of, knowing the names, knowing what's coming if we endure. We should be very content. And again, that has nothing to do with what you physically have in this world. The scriptures say was that James have not the Most High called the poor of this world rich in faith. Yahushua said, I know thy tribulation that works. And I know thy tribulation and poverty, roughly paraphrasing, but thou art rich. Rich in what? Faith, wisdom, and understanding, knowledge, the spiritual gifts, things, the intangibles, things that can't be possessed with the physical hands. Those are the most valuable things that we possess. So we should have a great contentment, which will enable us to be very strong in the spirit and very hard to be seduced, which as a man, that's the spirit you should have. Being easily seduced, that's the spirit of a woman. The scriptures call a woman the weaker vessel. That's why the serpent went to Eve in the first place, because Adam was content. He had everything he needed. He didn't want for anything. Right? Which drown men in destruction and perdition. Okay, let me read it, the NLT again. It says, but people who long to be rich fall into temptation and are trapped by many foolish and harmful desires. That's what being seduced. And the spiritual demon Satan most certainly knows this scripture. He most certainly, this is one of his biggest tools. How much more his son, his children, his sons, the nation of Edom, starting with the head tribe, Amalek, which it was a small head bringing it out. So showing you Esau, these top CEOs within these corporations, these different politicians, right? These leaders of the world, they understand all this psychology, and they like to play these games on our people, on the ignorant of our people. That's why they set up these different, false idols, these rappers and these sellouts, and have them portray or fabricate a lifestyle that they don't even live. First and foremost, it's all fake. A lot of the cars is rented, the houses is rented. A lot of the cars and the house, the jewelry is all in the record label's name, and they just let them, use it for a music video, or let them live there for a little bit. But as soon as they step out of line, they pull it right away from them. Right? They'll give them a black card, but the black card is not in their name. Right? But they'll push that image on the ignorant of our people, thinking that lifestyle is attainable. Right? If you commit crimes, if you do these things that these rappers talk about in their music, half the time they never did it in their life. Right? But Esau sets these things up in motion to seduce our people, to get them trapped, to get them in prison, right? To get them put to death, to get them hooked on their drugs, right? And it could have all been avoided had they been content, had they put their trust in the Lord. All right, verse 10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith. Oh, hold on, let me, Salakia. I didn't finish verse 9 in the NLT. 1 Timothy 6:9 again. But people who long to be rich fall into temptation and are trapped by many foolish and harmful desires that plunge them into ruin and destruction. Verse 10 in the KJV, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Okay? Meaning they got seduced, they got tricked. Okay? Verse 11, but thou, O man of God, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. You see that? So, those of us that are in this truth, that really believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, that are really, expecting his reward of righteousness, that are expecting to endure to the end, you really can't be seduced by this devil. Right? We have the whole armor of the Most High. We have the helmet of faith, the helmet of salvation, the shield of faith, quenching the fiery darts of Satan. Right? We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Right? That's why it's good to read books like 48 Laws of Power and 33 Strategies of War, The Art of Seduction. Right? Because that's Esau allowing his devices to come out. So you read them and you're not ignorant of them. You can even apply some of those tricks in righteousness. Like Yahushua said, be wise as a serpent. Okay? Yet harmless as a dove. So, that's just something I wanted to speak on real quick. I found that very interesting. So with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai B'Shem Hakodash. Until next time, Shalom.